Hello and welcome to this another video analysis. Now, in my last two videos, which you can go and check in the description box, I had covered the Hang Seng ETF and the Silver ETF also. This time, I'm covering the PSU Banks ETF. But to understand the PSU Bank ETF, we must look at what the PSU Bank Index is doing. Another bonus material, I'm going to also share the relative strength of PSU Bank with the Nifty Private Bank and PSU Bank with CNX 200. Because bulk of the PSU banks are out of the Nifty 50, so except for SBI. So covering a larger picture on how they have performed like that. So starting with the PSU Bank Index, you can see that the start was good 2004 and then a very lengthy 2010 to 2020, a 10-year correction in PSU Bank Index, which led to a follow through after that. So we had 6 years of rally, 10 years of correction, and now we are in the fifth year of this move, which has been quite tremendously strong. But since the June election result, we've seen a sharp correction coming in the PSU Bank Index from there onwards. Currently, monthly resistance is at all the way around 7,250, while support it has just bounced back from a little bit of support at 6,400. If this does not hold, then we are looking at 5,800 as the next level of support in the monthly. Now let's have a look at the weekly. In the weekly, we can check that this is kind of not a very clear one, but yes, there was a diagonal which ended between March to 2024 to June 2024, from where we had a slip down inside the Ichimoku cloud right now. And for the first time in after so many months from June, some rather so many weeks, in the week of December, it managed to break this lower high lower low trend. It's at least broken the lower, you can say lower high one, because continuous lower highs were being formed. It managed to push its way up. Now we would like to see, as an investor or as a trader looking for fast momentum, that the index trade above 7250 before, without violating 6185. That would suggest that a higher low formation has also started again inside the cloud, suggesting more volatility, with resistance now at 6850 and 7050, with support coming in at 6200. Crucial line of support of this. It's one of the few sector indices which which did not, on June 4th lows, whatever was made, it has broken below the June 4th low twice and not been able to get above its previous highs, nowhere near its previous. So it's been a rank underperformer for the last 6 months, the PSU Bank Index. Let's look at the daily. In the daily, you can see a parallel channel kind of scenario. If I take this as my starting point of the fall going on, you can clearly see the lower high trajectory uh, being formed out here. So at a crucial level right now, the index would like, if it starts sustaining now above 6,000, even if it starts sustaining above Friday's high, will be a good move. 6,700, then 6,800, and then we have that 7,250, which is the monthly, weekly, in both terms, a strong resistance. Taking that out would mean a strong up move towards 7,500 and a lot more. What could be the projection for more upside? Let's just hold that for a while. Let's understand what the private bank and PSU bank ratio chart tells us. Now, with the private bank as the larger value one, I've considered you can see from the pre-COVID, uh, the private banks did superbly well compared to the public sector banks. But post-COVID pandemics, we've seen the dominance of PSU banks doing extremely well, and this ratio got stopped out in June near this fractal made in October 2017. Ever since then, it is the private banks are trying to do better than the PSU banks out here. And you can see in the weekly also. Weekly, it's a tug of war going on since September between the private and PSU banks, courtesy mainly State Bank of India. which is better than most of the private banks of late. So that's trying to negate this uh, the pullback which private banks have done out here. But here you can see very clearly, in case this ratio starts pushing up above 4 right now at 3.8, then we are talking about a pull up to 4.85 to 5.65, which would mean that private banks would then do better than the PSU banks. And if it continues to sink down, that is that we should consider this small phase from June till September as just a minor underperformance of PSU banks, then only below 3.4 will it once again attempt to breach this wall of 3.15, and then probably come down to 2.5 to 1.9, which would mean PSU banks will do much better in that case. Let's have a look at the CNX, its performance with the CNX 200. In this case, you can see again, it's quite similar to what the private bank and PSU bank was. Here also it breached below the fractal of April March 19. Now if the CNX 200 was underperforming all the way till May of 2024, and since then turnaround within a zone, now consolidation zone. Now if the PSU banks the two underperform the CNX 200 out here, which would mean that other sectors in the CNX 200 are doing much better than the PSU banks. That would happen if this ratio goes above 2.2 till 2.5. Maybe then we might even see 3.5, which would be a rank underperformance of PSU banks. For PSU banks to outperform the CNX 200 in that matter, it requires to push its way again below 1.85. If that were to happen, 1.85 out here, we would be looking at retest of 1.65, maybe even down to 1.15. So it's very important to understand this relative strength of PSU bank with the private bank as well as with the CNX 200, because if the sector index underperforms largely, then all rallies in it could also be not that great. Our money could be parked in something else better in that sense. So, but if you are an investor and you're looking at a picture of doing an SIP in the public sector bank mutual funds, or say for this matter, I've selected Nippon India. You could take either Kotak or ICICI Prudential or any of the PSU bank ETFs and also check it out. So here also, my view would be that I would go more aggressive accumulation either above 84 on a weekly basis, or I would wait for a pullback all the way down to 60, and then look at more aggressive buying all the way to 45. In between right now, I would my SIP amounts in the ETF would not be that aggressive for the time being. I would like to take its time, to give me more solid confirmation, as other sectors might turn out to do much better than the PSU banks. This is what my reading of the chart is. I could be totally wrong in it. Now, disclaimer: this is not a trading or investing advice to you. It's purely a educational video based on the study of Ichimoku and relative strength. Kindly do your research properly before taking your investment and trading decisions. And also, if you like this, if this was of help to you, so please do like this video, share it, and do follow me for regular stock and index ideas. Until then, happy trading and investing.